Fellow Gales, congratulations. We sit here today looking toward our next steps in life, looking back on the wonderful memories we have all created together. Walking across the stage today represents the hard work, dedication, sacrifice, and unforgettable experiences we have shared during our time here. Today, I am honored to introduce Elias Makhoul as our valedictorian. Elias is a first-generation Lebanese American graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Biology. I had the pleasure of getting to know Elias in seminar, where we got to read the great books and discuss around a circular table in Dante Hall. Though seminar at 8 in the morning is not always the most productive, I am grateful for our shared inquiry and being able to hear your perspective week to week. Elias has not only been an incredible student, but he has been involved in many different parts of our campus during his time at St. Mary's. He currently serves as a Santiago community leader in the Mission and Ministry Center and has played a large role in the Arabian Cultural Night, my favorite memory being his skit this year where he played the Arabian mother. It was unforgettable. As a member of the School of Science, he has gone above and beyond in serving as a tutor to his peers, a science buddy to younger students, and the public relations officer for St. Luke's Pre-Health Society. Elias presented his summer research, bear with me, investigating polymer-based immobilized radicals using dynamic nuclear polarized enhanced MRI. At the American Chemical Society National Meeting and the Northern California Undergraduate Research Symposium. As you most likely would not be surprised to hear, Elias plans to attend medical school. Elias, it is my great pleasure to call you a friend, and I look forward to seeing all you accomplish in your future. Class of 2017, it is my great honor to present to you your class valedictorian, Elias Makhoul.
Thank you, Bridget, for always catching us when we fall. Good morning, everyone. And it is indeed a good morning, because like many of us here, I am not a morning person. So waking up today to give a speech in front of thousands of people before noon is kind of awkward. But hey, we're here, we're caffeinated, and we're excited. So let's embrace this awkwardness together. Please join me in awkwardly welcoming a group of very important people who I don't even really know personally, the Board of Trustees and President Donahue, who, by the way, became president of the college as we entered our first year. I would also like to welcome the family and friends in the audience, as well as the faculty and staff, who have given us the timeless gift of knowledge. Without their talents, we would have struggled to educate ourselves by watching YouTube videos. But most importantly, let's give a big round of applause to the graduating class of 2017. It is an honor to represent such a beautiful group of people. And as I reminisce about the past 4 years, I realize that there has been a lot of really great moments we've shared as students and as friends. That includes going to basketball games as a part of Gale Force, celebrating diversity at our annual cultural nights, spending all-nighters cramming for finals or anatomy lab practicals, or even going to Roundup on Wednesdays and sing karaoke. These are just a handful of stories we will share after graduation. But today, I want to talk about a different type of experience, one that we often encountered but may have overlooked. In fact, I would argue that this experience has impacted our learning, whether we realized it or not. For me, I first witnessed the power of this experience in my sophomore year. It went something like this. I was in a seminar class with the brilliant Dr. Ann Carpenter. We were discussing very confusing texts written by Plato, Dante, and even Euclid. And in the midst of conversation, something powerful happened. A moment that filled the room with fear and nervousness. Some students were so uncomfortable in this moment that they suddenly left the room pretending to use the bathroom. Others sat in their seats quietly because, let's face it, we all know they didn't do the reading. This moment was brief. It was unpredictable. It was inevitable. I had experienced my first awkward silence. It sounded a little bit like, now I know those brief couple of seconds may seem unimportant, but I think these moments are the most critical in our lives. So what happens during these awkward silences? Is there a possibility that embedded within them is a potentially transformative opportunity? I want to share with you a story. What may be the biggest awkward silence in my life. Something very near and dear to me. In the 6th grade, I was a transfer student who always rocked a turtleneck sweater, had a rolly backpack, buck teeth, and this bushy unibrow across my forehead. I wasn't exactly one of the cool kids, especially since I was battling a personal obstacle that still lingers with me today: the loss of my grandfather to cancer. Within an instant, I could no longer see him on Sundays for Mass, nor listen to him complain about the squirrels that ruined his garden. Not a second went by where I did not think of him. To put it simply, I was depressed. But I must confess something. I'm asking you all to embrace these awkward silences in your lives, but I'm still trying to figure out how to do that myself. You see, it has been over 10 years since my grandfather's passing. And I still haven't found the courage to finally say goodbye to him at his grave. So instead of confronting the fear of breaking down in front of the man I was named after, I distracted myself with things that I loved, like drawing. And much like leaving the room during seminar, I masked my fear with comfort. Now I know visiting a loved one at their grave is not the same as speaking in seminar. However, they do share a similar fear, a lack of control. And ironically, that's what makes today so beautiful. The lack of control and unpredictability that we are all sitting at on the verge of graduation. This is our last awkward silence together. And I know what a lot of us are thinking. Man, I cannot wait to get out of here. No more awkward moments, no more seminar. It's just smooth sailing from here on out. Well, I hate to break it to you, but that's some fake news right there. Because there will always be awkward silences thrown at us without warning. Just think back to your experiences here when you were forced to ask yourself, now what? For some of you, it may be when you locked yourself out of your room or forgot to turn in an assignment. You might have even experienced this moment while driving by that orange sign to find out that Ream Boulevard is still under construction. There are innumerable awkward silences in life, no matter where you go. Some can be more personal, like developing long-lasting friendships or falling in love with your best friend. But some of these moments call for perseverance and struggle, like facing the death of a loved one or challenging stereotypes. You know, it's not every day a biology major is honored valedictorian at a liberal arts institution. So to those within the School of Science, perhaps this accomplishment illustrates that we too are committed to liberal arts and not just a bunch of lab rats. Other students have fought to end the silence, to make the institution better, despite the name-calling, injustice, and vandalism. But let's be honest, a couple of bad eggs won't stop us from fighting for what we believe in. Now, if you haven't heard anything from my speech today, let me give you the SparkNotes version. Embrace the awkward silence. I'm not saying be quiet. I'm saying that just as I was not thrilled about the awkward silences in my life, realize that these silences are not meant to be avoided, but to live through. For me, that means visiting my grandpa at his grave this summer. It will be painful, but by doing so, I will truly understand what it means to transform. But what does it mean for you? We are defined by the ways in which we embrace or flee during these moments. So I'm asking you, don't do what I did. Do not seek comfort, do not leave the room or bail out of the moment. Instead, I challenge you to slow down and listen closely to the silences hidden beneath the noise in your lives, no matter how difficult they may be. Because they force us to self-reflect and take a good look at the community around us. So let us be reflective, not reactive. Let us remember that St. Mary's has taught us how to be leaders. Let us remember that we are Gales. Class of 2017, congratulations.